Homesteading. I'm in the pantry today, and the project today is to gain more space. The pantry has a lot of shelving, but it isn't really a very large space. So there is a few locations in the pantry that the shelving doesn't really optimize the whole pantry. We're going to start building some shelving and putting up some wire basket shelving so we can fit a lot more into the pantry. I can see the day when it's going to be very hard for products to come up through the States to Canada, so I want to stock up a little bit more. I'm not a prepper or anything, but you know what? Sometimes you got to be a little more prepared. So that's what we're starting to work towards. So today we're going to start building some shelving. So let's go. So here in the pantry, it is really full and we need a lot more space to store some food. So there's a lot of wasted space right here in between the door and the first shelf. So I'm going to build some shallow shelves. They're going to be 8 inches deep and big enough to put at least a cereal box on. And then over here we bought some wire basket shelving that we're going to install on the wall up here, and we're going to install some shelving that hooks onto the back of the door. So between all of that we should gain a lot of space. I measured out this space and I could fit a shelf that's 1 foot by 83 inches. So we're gonna build a shelf to fit into here. So we'll go out in the garage. I went out to Lowe's and I got 2 pieces of melamine shelving. It's way wider and way longer than I needed, but it was way cheaper than buying the smaller pieces. The only issue is I'm gonna cut this down to 8 inches and you're gonna have a rough edge like this. I had to go out and buy some melamine tape, so you iron it onto the edges after you cut these down, so then you can use all the pieces. Never actually used this before, so we'll have to see how that goes. I'm deciding to do this outside because I don't want to breathe in the dust from this stuff. The plastic part is not good for you, and all the glue that holds all the press board together, that's not good for you either. So I have to cut both sides of the shelves to 8 inches, and I set my table saw to 8 inches, so we're going to cut them up. .83 inches, and that'll put me right to the very top of my other cabinet, so it should be nice and seamless as long as all my measuring is correct. Today the temperature has been super hot out, and I thought, you know what, I'll cut the wood outside. As soon as it's cut, I'll bring it in and we'll reassemble it. Because the garage is actually a pretty decent temperature. I don't know if it's just the cement slab or what it is, but when the door's shut and the sun's off you, it's pretty good. So we're going to start assembling the shelf. So what I'll do is pre-drill the top shelf and the bottom shelf so I can just assemble it, and then we'll install all the middle shelves as we go. went out and got screws, but I got brown ones. I really should have got white ones, but this will work just fine. You're not really going to see the screws anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I got the top and the bottom shelf on. It's looking pretty decent. It's not perfect though. There's some damage here, but I don't think you're really gonna see that behind the edge of the door. We're gonna put the veneer on. It probably would have been better to install it before I cut it, but we're just gonna cut little strips. Veneer strips are heat activated, so you kind of get them lined up, get them sticking, and just run the iron over them. And it melts the glue, and it rehardens and gives your shelves a nice edge. Let that cool in a safe place. Next shelf. Use a utility knife, and I just cut the excess off. And I want to cut the edge perfect too, so there's no lip. I'm going to mark off all the rest of the shelves. We're going to install them. Fits perfect. Make sure that it just stays sturdy. It's not going to fall out of there. I got the shelf installed and it fits in there really good. So there you go, the pantry is done. I got the shelves all up from Bed Bath & Beyond. They actually were pretty decent and sturdy, and I don't think I could have fit much more in this space. They don't stick out that far, so it's just enough room to walk in here comfortably. So there you go, the pantry's done. In the next little bit, I'll be working on the chicken coop and all that kind of stuff. I definitely wanted to be able to store a little more stuff in the pantry, so we just wouldn't have it all the way through the house. So this is one of the jobs off the list, and that's about enough for today, and you guys have a good one.